can be said that we've opened another link in our never-ending chain of the way of stories. And that is an exploration into what it means to be human, or more explicitly, what it means to be real, with the possibility that it will bring us to the experience of knowing and completing that statement that we have to know who we are and we have to know what we do. There's a simple story taken from the great Hindu epic, the Ramayana, in which there are many anecdotes about Hanuman. The Hanuman was half monkey and half god, born of a union between a monkey and the god of the wind. And Hanuman had the best qualities of both the monkey and the god. He was agile and adept. He could fly through the trees. But he also had the wisdom and the knowledge of the celestial realms. But there are several anecdotes, one of which is the time when he gathered all the animals of the forest together to assist Rama, the embodiment of the god Vishnu, in his battle for righteousness. And then another time bringing herbs from far-off mountains when Rama was lying injured on the battlefield. And also that very famous anecdote where he dived into the ocean to retrieve the ring that would free the Queen Ravana from bondage. But it's told that Rama gathered all of his earthly helpers together. And when he did so, he gave a great dissertation, thanking them for all the assistance that they had given him in his endeavors on the earth. But then, after giving his dissertation, Rama called Hanuman to him, and with tears in his eyes lauded Hanuman's efforts and dedication and devotion that he'd given him over all of this time. And by way of thanks to Hanuman, Rama took off from his arm a gold bracelet encrusted with all the most precious of gems. But when it was handed to Hanuman, he examined it very carefully, scrutinizing it very closely. And then he squeezed it in his hand, and several of the precious jewels fell out. But then he took some of the jewels and he put them in his mouth and chewed them, and then spat them out, examining them carefully. And then he took the gold and opened it up, looking again carefully, but seemingly not finding what he was looking for. So he handed the bracelet back to Rama, and he said, "I don't want this gift." And all the animals were aghast. This precious gift, priceless gift. And Hanuman was handing it back to Rama. And Hanuman said, I don't want this gift because it does not contain your name. And one of the bears spoke up, How dare you, Hanuman, you old monkey fool? You've been given the most precious of gifts. I can't see Rama's name on you. Oh yes, said Hanuman. Oh yes. And with that, he put his hands under his rib cage and he tore open his chest to reveal his beating heart. And emblazoned on that heart, on all its sides, was the word Rama. And in the systolic and dystolic sounds of the beat of his heart rang out the word Rama, Rama, Rama. So with tears rolling down his face, Rama accepted the gift back that he had given. And Hanuman also said, and may it be so until I take my last breath. So we can ask ourselves, what does the human heart mean in relationship to being human? What say you? What's our experience? What is the relationship between the human heart and being human? What say you? Why is it that when someone asks us who we are, we point here and give out our response?
Because our heart is everything. Because really, if you looked at it like this, people can be brain dead, and I mean really brain dead, but their heart is still beating. So it's the heart that rules us. It's what comes from our heart. It's all our feelings, that all comes from our heart.
And we know it's our breath that gives us life. But what is the heart?
The sacred soul's sanctuary.
Right? Okay. Sacred soul's sanctuary. That's very beautiful, isn't it?
It's the answer that I got when I just was asking what is it about the heart, what is it about the heart.
Right.
It's your sacred soul's sanctuary.
But how would we answer this question? What is the relationship between our heart and being human in our exploration to answer this question? What does it mean to be human? Or what does it mean to be real? What's the association with coming back to our heart and being real?
It's the heart that makes us human. Because the love energy is what does it.
So would you say that's the seat of love then? The heart? The seat of emotion? Yes. Is it the seat of love? And if so, how does that relate to being human?
The heart is the connection of their human,
Uh-huh.
of their soul and being human. That's the connection, that's the common denominator.
Okay.
Mm.
So is that
So
in
the
relationship?
interface, the software,
Uh-huh.
the software of the spirit, and
Okay.
the hardware of the human body.
And in relationship to the body, mind and spirit, would you say?
It's the authenticity space, whereas in the mind is just the collecting of the information of the human experience,
Uh-huh.
whereas in the heart it's like, for me it's the authenticity.
Okay. So you could say then that the heart is the seat of being real, then? It never tells us a wrong, never tells us amiss, would you say?
Yes. If you follow your heart, it's right, but you know, it's like that thing of mind over matter and
Okay.
heart over mind.
Uh-huh. So perhaps as we continue our exploration, it will indeed lead us to an experience and a recognition of what it is that we do when we no longer need to try to do or be anything. Thank you.